And I'm involved in Maldon Mens Shed. I moved to Maldon about 3 years ago. I grew up in Essex, and my wife did as well, and our parents lived in Essex. And we moved back after 20 years away because of my parents in particular were struggling with ill health. So moving back was a dislocating experience. And as a person, I've struggled with anxiety my whole life. And with my parents' declining health, that got quite a bit worse. And moving to Maldon, I was looking for an opportunity for something to do locally in the community. And I saw, I think it was advertised by the Community Volunteer Service. So I saw an advert for the shed, I went along, I quite liked it, so I signed up as a member. Without really realising how, I ended up on a steering group, which then sort of around us turned into a committee, of which now I'm the chair. We've got about 70 members currently. We run 4 sessions a week in our workshop, which is it's a building owned by Maldon District Council, and it was the old mortuary in the cemetery, which was derelict, and so yes, the neighbours are very quiet. So that was refurbished, and Maldon District Council are very kind in letting us have it for a peppercorn rent. And it's a small building, so its safe capacity is only about 10 people. So we run 4 sessions a week that can take about 10 people. We'd like to start another session this quarter because that's the only way we can grow. So the shed's been very good for me because it's given me a sense of purpose. I've met all these people I wouldn't have known in Maldon otherwise, because it's not that I don't want to see them outside of the shed, but the shed is the place where I see that group of friends. I know other people in Maldon now from other things, but I wouldn't have known any of those people if I hadn't gone to the shed. One guy was trapped in a very negative relationship with his partner, where his mental ill health was fostered within that relationship. But eventually his health got to a point where he reached a crisis, and the resolution of that was leaving that relationship. And the shed was the first thing he'd done outside the home for more than 10 years. And so when we did his induction, showing him the various tools and things around the workshop, his hands were literally shaking because he was very frightened about being there. And that's despite the fact he's 6'4" and weighs about twice as much as I do. And in the year that he's been coming along, his confidence has been transformed. He's now a key person in a number of the projects where we make things for sale, and where we make community projects like planters for primary schools. And his confidence has grown enormously, and he's rebuilt his family life, having increased contact with his children again now. So his life really has been transformed by the shed. And there's another guy who has prostate cancer, which is now it's not treatable in a curative way, so he now knows he's living on some kind of clock. He's not particularly ill at the moment, but prior to being involved, he only told me this last week, but prior to being involved with the shed, he tried to take his own life on 2 occasions and had been absolutely desperately low. And he attends 2 or 3 sessions a week, and he's now on our committee and is the biggest fan of the shed in Maldon. And he perhaps should have been here tonight to talk to you, because he can't speak highly enough of what the shed does for him. And I think it's a super project, and we owe Maldon and District Community Volunteer Service and the Essex Shed Network a great debt of gratitude because of the support, ongoing training, and all the connections they've made for us. So I think the Essex Shed Network is a great thing to support, because further down the chain it results in people's lives continuing to be sustainable and enhanced.